Analysis of pronouns with examples from everyday life, movies, and books. Pronouns are essential for clear and concise communication, as they replace nouns to avoid repetition and improve sentence flow. This section on pronouns is well structured, covering their definition, types, and rules for proper usage. Below is a detailed analysis with relatable examples from everyday life, movies, and books. 5.1. Definition and function of pronouns. Explanation. Pronouns are words used to replace nouns, making sentences less repetitive and more fluid. They refer back to a noun, called the antecedent, that has already been mentioned. Examples: everyday life. Instead of saying, John went to John's car because John forgot John's keys, we use pronouns. John went to his car because he forgot his keys. Movies. In The Lion King, instead of repeating Simba constantly, characters use pronouns like he or his to refer to him. He just can't wait to be king. Books. In Harry Potter, pronouns like he, she, and they are used to avoid repeating character names. Harry picked up his wand. He was ready for the duel. 5.2. Types of pronouns. Personal pronouns. Explanation. These refer to specific people or things, e.g., I, you, he, she, it, we, they. Examples: everyday life. I love pizza, but she prefers pasta. Movies. In Frozen, Anna says, "Do you want to build a snowman?" using you as a personal pronoun. Books. In The Great Gatsby, Nick narrates using I to share his perspective. Possessive pronouns. Explanation. These show ownership, e.g., mine, yours, his, hers, ours, theirs. Examples: everyday life. This phone is mine, not yours. Movies. In Toy Story, Woody says, "This is my spot," using my to show possession. Books. In Charlotte's Web, Charlotte refers to her web to show ownership. Reflexive and intensive pronouns. Explanation. Reflexive pronouns, e.g., myself, yourself, refer back to the subject, while intensive pronouns emphasize the subject. Examples: everyday life. I made this cake myself, reflexive, versus I myself made this cake, intensive. Movies. In The Avengers, Tony Stark says, "I am Iron Man," emphasizing himself. Books. In Pride and Prejudice, Elizabeth Bennet reflects on herself. I could easily forgive his pride if he had not mortified mine. Relative pronouns. Explanation. These introduce dependent clauses, e.g., who, whom, whose, which, that. Examples: everyday life. The teacher who helped me is kind. Movies. In The Lord of the Rings, Frodo says, "The ring that you carry is dangerous." Books. In To Kill a Mockingbird, Scout narrates, "The man who saved us was Boo Radley." Interrogative pronouns. Explanation. These are used to ask questions, e.g., who, whom, whose, which, what. Examples: everyday life. Who is coming to the party? Movies. In Shrek, Donkey asks, "What are you doing in my swamp?" Books. In Alice in Wonderland, Alice asks, "Which way should I go?" Demonstrative pronouns. Explanation. These point to specific things, e.g., this, that, these, those. Examples: everyday life. This is my favorite book. Movies. In Star Wars, Yoda says, "Do or do not." There is no try, using there as a demonstrative pronoun. Books. In The Catcher in the Rye, Holden says, "That's the thing about girls." 5.3. Pronoun agreement, ensuring correct antecedent. Matching. Explanation. Pronouns must agree with their antecedents in number, gender, and person. Examples: everyday life. The dog wagged its tail, singular agreement, versus the dogs wagged their tails, plural agreement. Movies. In Finding Nemo, Marlin says, "Nemo is my son. I have to find him," ensuring him matches Nemo. Books. In The Hunger Games, Katniss says, "Peeta is my partner. I trust him," where him refers to Peter. Avoiding common pitfalls, vague references, pronouns should clearly refer to a specific noun. Example: instead of "when Sarah met Jane, she was happy," clarify, "when Sarah met Jane, Sarah was happy." Gender inconsistencies. Use gender-neutral pronouns when the gender is unknown or irrelevant. Example: each student should bring their notebook, instead of his or her notebook. Movies. In Frozen, Olaf says, "Some people are worth melting for," using "some people" to avoid gender-specific pronouns. Books. In 1984, George Orwell uses "they" to describe collective groups without specifying gender. Conclusion. This section on pronouns is thorough and essential for understanding how to replace nouns effectively while maintaining clarity. By incorporating examples from everyday life, movies, and books, learners can see how pronouns function in real-world contexts. This approach not only makes the material more relatable, but also reinforces proper usage through familiar references.